Good morning. Or whatever it is, wherever you are. So we did do the author count thing last time. And this might be this might be a little bit of an experimental thing. So we're gonna put that on its own branch. We did an author count. One of the problems we're gonna have here is a display problem. If we kind of want to see what our model looks like, we got a thing that'd be kind of nice. Kind of seeing what our error terms, well, model factors, signed error, cumulative unsigned error. But if there's like 100 and something authors, and some of them it's like there were collaborations, so it gets really complicated. Oh right, because I was touching settings, I guess. Oh, I never switched off of that. So that might be exactly where I need to be. How can I possibly display that in a useful way? I mean, I want to do something that like summarizes it for this. Like, what is the cumulative average error of all author factors? So some of the authors are going to be blank. Shoot, is this going to be nil? Is this going to be blank? And what is it? Is it null? Is it nil? Oh, I guess it'd just be nothing. If it would just be nothing. And it removes duplicates, but what we're seeing is blank. So what do we need? We need... I was thinking song pack in some cases will stand in, particularly for BGS Mania. Get chart name, get author credit. I'm supposed to go back to the song. Get background path. Display artist. I think group name. And what is this showing up on? Oh, a whole bunch are unattributed. Ooh. A couple of goals packs are unattributed. But we know all of those are going to be the same step author. Yeah, so there's a lot of data quality issues we've got with this. I mean, Fraxel, I think I only really have one Fraxel pack. Muted is a little bit of a problem because it probably has a bunch of BGS stuff. It worked for BGS, Outfox we don't know. And I'm not going to know for like some of the DDR things. Okay, just only doing possible authors right now. We're not even saving this. So possible steps have that. It doesn't seem to mess anything up. We're going to treat this as runtime only. Oh, it might mess things up a little bit. Maybe I don't worry about the squared right now. Polynomial. What do we use U for? Oh. Well, +1 won't have a big feel there. Big effect there. Reset that. Now, this was actually filling this out, but I don't know if I have possible steps yet. 799. $617. And until we actually get possible steps, we're not going to have possible authors. This is adding factors to a song. Numbers that we use to calculate things. Technically, we're using the author for that purpose, but we're already gathering steps elsewhere, so that's fine. It's like derived values. Oh, no, this is a factors matrix. So actually, this is kind of where we pick it out. Possible steps, add factors. No. Can we... Oh. Yes, what we should be doing... As we add this, possible authors... Let's see. You know what? We're doing this as we go. Actually, I need two tables. We have possible authors, and I guess it would... Is it just author factors? If we treat the ID as the index... Yeah, I could actually do a table insert into an array. And I would just be able to count it. But this isn't possible authors. This is like author names. And see, then the ID is implicitly the index. For a given song, I would want a way to look it up, wouldn't I? So when we add this, I didn't actually change this. That's just going to increase the number slightly because we're breaking out the blanks into the packs. Then this is actually we're only inserting a not. Oh, because for the songs, I mean we can get the author name. I mean, then author names. No. Does insert perchance return the index? Okay. Lua tables are indexed by default at 1. So the length after inserting will be 1. I want the plain array index ones for later. So that we can do lookups into the actual theta, and I could probably even set that up now. Yeah, no, I've got things that explicitly set up theta. So author theta And we've got initialize, reinitialize. Well, I mean that should reset it. So there's a number. I guess we could treat that as the ID lookup side, but oh, factors. I was thinking, what was I thinking? Oh, I was thinking to have the factors actually in there. You could do like some indirection array, so it's the same thing, but it's not going to be as simple as just passing factors, I think. Yes, the number is going to be a pure value. It's not. That'd be a little bit of a special case. So we've got compute cost. We've got all the steps. We've got the theta. Cost number of steps. That's doing all the thetas. So yeah, so this is over steps. This is over theta. And then for every step, we do one more round. The value was the theta. And I kind of wish there was a thing I could like stick into factors that's just like. But this is just going to be one. It is if we are doing a sparse matrix where only this author has a value of 1. Cost equals cost plus prediction. Okay, so that's 1. Term cost. Prediction, we still have... oh, no, it's not steps. Steps is our master value. In here, it is cell. For selection, term cost. In theta. So this is only going to be calculating these things. Actually, this is probably the two things I'm showing on the little dashboard. So I have to figure out how to do that for actual for all of the different authors. We've got another prediction. We've got another cell. Now that's doing delta theta. To propagate the error back. Local DH theta. What do we do with you? Since we're doing a sparse matrix, we kind of have this like look-aside buffer for theta to not get into all the like a full-on sparse matrix thing, or actually doing all the multiplication for every factor. Wait, this is a per loop? No, that's per iteration. And then we do all of these things. Let's see, it's basically this. Plus the total error. And cell dot, ooh. That's effectively 1. So that's per song, we're going to get that across multiple songs. Or across multiple steps. And then the theta. So, you know what? Oh, wait. I have to do this. Now that we're not in individual steps, I have to do this once for every author. And you are... Yep. Wrong one. Nope. Author theta, d theta, that's theta, this is d author. Key becomes I. Where's score? Sample predictions. You're doing a prediction run. Oh, your predicted score, so that's someplace else. And we're using predicted score for most of this stuff. Oh, you're actually separate. Let's value in theta, so this is going to be... Now the problem with this is that these can move around a lot more easily than the other factors can. So I might have to serialize it with the text. Graph predictions is also recalculating it. Maybe there's some room to so author ID. Maybe that could be using the predict score or something. Or maybe because it's a tight loop, I don't want to do that. Okay, that's doing a direct loop. This is doing for one thing. This is assigning the score to all of them. And we're back around to something else that includes that. No, we don't have any output for this right now. Expected 579. Forgot a comma. Attempt to call a table value. Ah. Wait. In iPairs. Attempt to index the author IDs. Bad argument to for iterator. All right, leave that up. Oh yeah, we don't have you anymore. And now we're dying in a loop somewhere. Attempt to form arithmetic on nil field. That shouldn't be possible because we go through, supposedly, and let's assign these all 0. This is so big that it's almost impossible to report on. And as long as we've got the error, I can't actually see what I printed out. Okay, and then everything else that's doing this is going to run into the same thing. Well, this is where we're actually seeing, actually able to see stuff. Is it dot dot? But it removes duplicates, so we can't actually see it. Also, what we're actually seeing now... No, that's all 764 now. Unless I'm missing a higher up error. Oh, yeah, and that's falling down to 764. Called from somewhere else. Okay, that keeps it from looping. I still can't see my answer. So we have to do this garbage. Is it not that random? Yes. Nope, that's not sufficient. Oh, this is attempt to concatenate a nil value, author ID. Well, that shouldn't be happening. Why are you happening? Does not get nil. The language is Lua. Vim is a editor that has roots way back in computing. It's not the friendliest to use, but you essentially you have editing mode, well, a couple of editing modes, and you have command mode where all of the key, or every key is like some command. So I would do change word, and that would delete everything and put me into insert mode. I could do change in brackets, and it would do that. I mean, that's kind of you. There's like was it forward to the pound character. Beginning of line. That's the beginning of line. End of line. A custom compile it, yeah. And then this is my custom game mode for Stepmania, which is broken right now because I'm trying to add significant new things. How is this? Because I didn't actually reset author ID. Author ID equals. What about the tables? This inserts that. Oh no, author ID needs to be the name. Author equals author ID. So actually we did need the other line, I guess, effectively. No, from arithmetic on a nil value. We're back to 719. The real problem here is that we're getting out of here with a nil. Or we're doing something that copies this but doesn't copy all the values. Holy cow! Thank you. I did notice you came back to one life at least one more time, so I guess you're somewhat enjoying it. Let's see. All right, so what's going crazy here? We're trying to do gradient descent. Evaluate predictions, incremental update. Error running up to from arithmetic. Now we're at 1596, but yeah, then things we didn't update because we didn't run that. I might actually be able to see anything I output from this other section now. Yeah, I'm one of those people who prefers to learn in-game, but I know that's definitely not everybody. Milkweed does not regrow. The game has been out, I think people were saying 2.5 years, which sounds about right. When it first launched, milkweed regrows. Now, if you pick it fruiting, you can take seeds from the debris if you want to plant it. Things are moving fast enough now, there's usually wild milkweed around. And at 4 to 1 for a rope, it's a really expensive crop whilst people are still trying to not starve, especially. Maybe if you can go out, get some, kind of far away soil, some far away ponds, till with skewers. I mean, it is more stable. So depending where people are at, we might have to start farming it. One thing I thought about is trying to use some of the leftover stumps from wild wheat, which is kind of a thing now. That would mean a lot of running around, though, so might not be worth it. Yeah, allergy season isn't quite over yet. Okay, there we go. I do need more water, however. I will be back in a little bit. We'll never use this unless it's the same priority as the issue. Now this might be designed for automation, in which case I would have to... Oh. That was bizarre. Okay.
If you don't follow mechanicals, she is gonna be forced on the street. She needs a source of income. Follow mechanicals. Oh my gosh. If you don't follow mechanicals, she's gonna be forced to listen to Eddie Vedder every day. I'm gonna call her every day and just play it on my phone to her phone. It's gonna be terrible. That's pretty awful to me. I don't know. There are probably a lot of Eddie Vedder fans on Twitch right now. They're absolutely hating on me and being like, I'm never going to follow that person again.
But my apartment is now a single room, so it's not such a concern. This is why I don't want them idling in the cold biomes.
Was it? Okay. Well, let's see what happens with this. Bye, baby. So... Okay, so you can empty water into it as well? So does it... Then that should just be...
Welcome back. Ooh, yeah. New wood dance pad. Yeah, I've got a precision dance pad. The left arrow especially is getting a little shaky. I kind of want to get like some alligator clips or something so I can get a meter on it and see if that's like a electrical issue or if I can find like if it's a loose wire. Is it the surface is wearing out? Function in a town setting. Well, I guess we're getting closer to town settings. I saw a few new comments on the Big Server 2 map this morning. I'm getting a little lost myself. It's been a while since we've had this technology level. So I'm like stuck between figuring out what needs to be done and this idea that I should be helping teach people. And I don't really know how to start those conversations very well. All right, what do we need to do here? I need to know if we somehow get out of here, with this ever being, this is the code I had before. Except we know that it's specifically nils that are causing problems. Maybe it's a blank. Well, author, yeah, specifically blank author names. Yeah, unfortunately, wells do get a little bit complicated, especially once you get past deep well. I mean, you can look at. I mean, there's always the in-game thing. You can kind of look at the next step, but you start getting into having to go outside and get things from other settlements and get help from them, which was put in place as a challenge for possibly some of the more experienced people. I mean, I guess if everybody kind of gets stuck there, well, they'd know that they needed a certain thing. They wouldn't know that you had to go out to other people to get it. And if you're looking for other references, you've found one tech, right? Or someone has pointed you at it. That will at least give you a bigger overview of the steps, but the fact that you need other people for certain resources and what you can get and who you need to find to get what you need, that's not really anywhere in game. I mean, maybe you could see that something was in a certain biome and it'll say you can't go there, and then you can find an expert stone in that biome. But that's still a lot to wrap your head around. What's the title? Screen title menu. Get main display title. Did I pull a song out here? Yes. Okay, unless it's that thing that's reporting 0. Attempt to perform arithmetic on a nearline. It's only happening 3 times now. Of course, I'm not running the big messy thing. So we're not getting any blanks out of here. Oh, but that's because we didn't run incremental update. But what the heck is? Oh, my got OBS into my rotation. Okay. Yeah, so you're still having problems. Yeah, like all of this stuff is gonna be a problem here. That means we won't do a pick. Yeah, so it's just gonna get kind of frozen there. Author ID. Oh, if you're out of water and you don't know how to fix the well, so I mean, one thing you could ask around and see if you think somebody is working on it, and ask if they can, talk you through what they're doing, and if there's something you can do to help. But the other thing is, you can just go out and fetch pond water. It helps if you have extra buckets. Because you can take a bucket. If you get a backpack, you can take a bowl. If not, you may have to run the bowl out there and then run the bucket. Just have a bowl out by the ponds. If there's a cart and you have multiple buckets, all the much better. That also helps to have cisterns, which cisterns you can probably figure out from the regular crafting tree. It's a couple steps to get all those things. But if you actually are able to upgrade the well, it's nice to run it and fill up the well. You cannot refill a well. Cisterns are for water storage. It used to be possible to pour the water back in, but it technically runs on a random chance thing. So you have a random chance to get water out and then a random chance to put it back in. So chances are it wouldn't actually refill the well when you put it back, so that got removed. Ponds technically refill after a week. So basically no. They may have originally had exactly 4 water. Now they have 4 uses with a chance to use every time you take a bowl out. Yeah, regenning if they have a little water is how the game worked well over a year ago. So that's one of the challenges, is that it is as dynamic as an early access game, but it's not really early access, it's just how it is. There are updates every week, and sometimes Jason tries to address fundamental mechanics like water economy. And then all of the wikis and videos and whatnot are all out of date. But yeah, if you're willing to travel a little, there's usually still a lot of pond water out there. No, you can get bad locations where it's not really close to anywhere. And half the time when you go out searching, you kind of go in the wrong direction. You don't find any water in the direction you searched, even if you went east instead of west. There'd be a huge swamp there. What is going wrong here? I might actually need to go into into this. Okay, incremental up. It was U. It was what? 7 something? I didn't save. Now 722. They're from arithmetic on a nil value. It's arithmetic. So that is saying author theta. Oh, you know what? This is probably before we filled out author names. Yeah, that was a 0. We're kind of doing this as a side effect right now, which is not great. That's meant to be before I had factors. I mean, if you go through the updates, that will tell you things like water economy changed. I don't know if it goes into all of the details. But you'll also be running into things that like changed the game and then it later got changed again. So that might just be like an information dump that gets kind of confusing too. Error running function. Global self. Okay, 1372. Self. Typo. Okay, it's running global author theta. I need a line number on that one. 187. We're doing predicted score. No, it's saying. Where is this defined? Okay, I might have to define this farther up. Where is it being 177? Geez. I mean, ultimately, this may need to live somewhere else. I don't think it might be the most recent, an actually recent error. 189. So somewhere we're doing predicted score before this exists. That's the pick. Pick by range. Let's pick again. Have a trace back on this. Unknown. Perform pick. Attempt to perform arithmetic on it. Oh, that means it didn't actually find the value. And this is for a given selection. Oh, author. You're using author ID. Uh, 200. I probably copied this a few times. Yeah, we got past errors. Now, we're not actually running any tuning to see how any of this looks. Oh, it just wasn't running at all. Okay. There's that self again. If I copy that error a few times. Did it stop? No. Of course, this might lead to other nils down the road. Okay, I at least got rid of the error message. Oh. I need to... I need to initialize that. It's the only place we do equal to 0. Okay. Okay, it's not the only one. Not d theta. Okay, we're past those errors. I have no... That's introduced some noise into some of my other stuff. It is retuning around that feature. I didn't look what my total cost numbers were before. Overall, it feels like things are moving inward, which is good. Maybe just downward. Well, they're moving. That's all I can say about it. All right, now, how do I might just try to dump this first, just to get a sense of it. Where do you get called from? There's probably going to be a manual pick. Maybe just perform pick does it. Yeah, that's where we do a whole lot of analysis stuff. No. All right, so we've got name and right, because we're not maintaining the author theta, so it kind of restarts every time. Oh, very, very small numbers. Of course, all of these are actually pretty small numbers. Let's see. Is there any way I can put that in similar terms to my other display? What even is that? It's going to be some kind of loop over theta. Now, this is going to be the term error. Oh, I haven't done this part for this stuff. No, dot report term error. Term error, term cost. Model factors. Ooh. XY scale. Names. That's using initial theta. I might have the initial list of authors by now. Value error cost. And then that's an update function of this little line. This might have to be a separate thing. All right, screen width. What am I positioning that on? Yeah, that's XY. Try doing something. That's going to be the exact same stuff right now. It's just a different name. I think that's left over from last time. So I haven't saved. No, saved. Does it not like having two things with the same name? I mean, those. Okay. Maybe that was it. Alright, now it's doing exactly the same stuff. One way to do this would be to just give it a different scale. Like, a lot different scale. This is going to be in author theta. Anyway, it's going to need to have multiple columns, I think. Oh, Yeah, I don't have these values yet. Okay, may have been too tiny. All right, so if 04, did I save? Maybe are you looping over something else? And I pairs names. Oh, author theta key. This is actually going to be I. And those are probably going to be I if we get them. No? Ah, bitmap text. Set text key. Oh, this is names. No? But this is in. This is in. Yeah, this is a totally different structure. Okay, so that's actually something. It's still too small to read. But we'll have to address that in a bit. And it could kind of be way over with the other stuff going on there. I guess even seeing the factors would be sort of interesting. What do we do for columns, though? Well, we're doing an XY. That's an actor frame. So, yeah, we've already got an XY for the master thing. I guess really it's we yeah we have a maximum. We're gonna have a maximum column size probably, and then we might have to deal with overflow rates, or we define the number of columns, and it ends up being what it is. That's not gonna scale right either. All right, for now, it was 100. So this is x is going to be divided by, and this was a completely arbitrary number, maybe in an arbitrary scale system. Oh yeah, if we're in a scale system, it's going to make things extra interesting. Yeah. It looks like we're getting floating point precision here. Does Lua have integer? Operators. Addition, subtraction, multiply, division, modular, exponentiation, unary negation. All right, no, got math top floor. And that is way not separated enough. I feel like the balance point might be a little bit different. I was at 130, which just makes this hard to balance. So I mean, before it was really two columns. $75, and make this a little bit bigger. And we don't have any actual data. These numbers appear to be much smaller. Because we also only just started tuning this model every time we refresh. Another theta times 20. Can see it a little bit more, but it's like not even on the scale. Well, I can at least see them relative. I think some of these are probably just particular songs there's very few of them. Question bang, question, dot. Gamer Girl appears to be on the easier side. I tend to think of those as relatively good charts. Maybe the ones I've played the most are also not the super high ones. Maybe they didn't do super high ones. Okay, I think that average cost is lower though, because I think it was kind of stable at 1.2 before. Now, goals, arrows, 3 and 8 are also Gamer Girl and Game Goal, and those are like stuck at 0. And you just might have to go through and tag those songs. Hmm. So we're still dropping our total cost some, so I guess in that sense, it's helping. Those estimates, well, we still got one that's a little off here. For the most part, they're not too far. All right, can we get individual error terms here? So these are just tank level values again. So this is a specific, I have to do the full prediction for this, though. So probably. We need an author loop again. Let's see, this just needs to be ID. All right, and then we need something similar to this. It is almost more similar to this. Sure, same indexes. Let's see, cell dot factors. Well, that's going to have to get replaced anyway. The factor for these is all 1. And we lost an end here. So that's per step. Now this is going to be for this one, where 1 is cell.author ID. And this is then where we do that loop. And then final cost is divided by number of steps. Author factors. This is not going to be key. And then the scaling might be different. All right, but actually it's at 763. Yep. Forgot to update that one. Oh, those dots were the unupdated factors from the other stuff. Hmm. The absolute error for these is pretty low. Which might be a good sign. I guess they have to deal with fewer other songs than some of the other terms. They're actually not on the same scale. So technically, the cost for each individual one might not be number of steps, it's number of things that actually got added into it. So if we're doing a divide by number of steps on any of those, it should really be the number of things. That one definitely. The author. And it's the number of entries in that particular thing, which I guess we could do as a pre-calculated count for each entry. Okay, so we use it twice. If it already exists, yeah. We just always do that. Because that doesn't necessarily initialize the value. Do you have plus equal? I don't see any examples of it. This probably explains why the values were so much lower in general. Yeah, okay, so our basic factor could definitely not be quite as big, but still larger than the other one. Now we're seeing some error terms. Some of them are 0. I mean, we might have very, very few samples, though, so we can kind of perfectly tune. The signed error terms have gotten very, very low. Maybe one of those does need to be. Total number of steps. But it's like each one is only going to be counting up for itself. Although any other term in there would be by number of steps. So if it was a true sparse matrix, it would be times 1. And everything would get divided by the total number of samples. And the other ones would be 0 divided by total number of samples. This does give me useful error numbers, though. But not useful signed error numbers. Well, I guess we have other factors that are frequently 0, like bombs and things. So this would be a factor that was frequently 0. So to be on the same footing, it needs to be treated the same way. And then these things ended up being, they're very arbitrary scaling factors. Okay, the signed error starts out large. That seems okay. See, this was what, like 20 and 400? So that is like a times 200 to make it visible. Even though it's still got a lot of zeros. Let's see, where's our XY spread? Oh, the other thing is the initial placement. There might be some data cleanup. Like, I could try and figure out what all the muted BGS ones are. There's definitely some goals arrows that can get tagged. Like something like in the grooves. I guess they just didn't have that information. So we're technically getting lower errors with it than without it, which may mean it's an improvement in the model. Oh no, actually, down means lower score, or left means lower score. So gamer goals are actually hard for their other factors. And this might also have something to do with the rating systems people use, because we do have the meter in there. So that multiplier is looking a little bit too big right now. Front end knocking in a little bit. Of course, getting this to auto layout with an arbitrary number of authors is going to be an interesting problem. Now, what I might want to do is not necessarily show this all of the time, and do something that just goes through and summarizes that as a thing specifically in the term error term cost. I just have to be careful of how I'm looping with those. So it'd be like author factor. So I don't know if that's going to have like an average net. Probably the error side of that is more interesting than the actual value. Some of those question marks are probably specific songs that are getting highly tuned, like absorbing all of the song-specific error, because it's like, hey, I've got my own factor, we'll perfectly tune to it. Actually, I haven't been paying attention to zeros. I saw a 1 something. What would it take? Well, I guess the easiest way to do that I guess I could also stash. Oh, it was saving some of the intermediate results there. Yeah, 0, 0, 1, 2. So it's got to retune to not having the author information now. Huh. So it looks like BPM had a big chunk of that. So it had to do with what speed particular authors were working on. But yeah, that's 1, 2. Not, and the other one got to 1, 1. Same significant digits. Now, to get the same benefits of saving the other factors, we have to actually save the other author factors. Which right now I'm using an enumerated table, so we'd have to go through, we would have to convert that into name to value for serialization. and then pull it back out as we have our list of songs, we have our named ID. Which actually I don't think I'm using right now. It looks like they're smaller sets that seem to tune up relatively quickly. But it's going to have some noise as we get the startup phase, and it's going to retune. So just not storing it, it's going to have a little bit of the need to retrain problem. Oh, blank. Copied from blank. Copied from copied from. Copied from copied from. I wonder if there's actually multiple lines in the file. Like copied from next line is the original author. It doesn't parse out right. Yeah, and then you've got the collaborations. I'm not sure how to deal with that, except for saying, okay, here's my single authors. I don't know if substrings would be a safe thing to do. I mean, I could look for the ands, I could look for slashes, I could look for pluses. But then what would you even do on a collaboration? Would you count it against both of them? I do have more unplayed songs than I'm used to seeing. Oh, nice. Thanks for hanging out. Yep. Went around. Definitely kind of ugly right now. I've already got a button for this. Now, I guess I'm not using two buttons on this screen. I could devote an entire screen to author modeling. Or even have 2 screens. So that would have to move into, well, even into runtime persisted data. Then we have to get it back to, I guess in the persisted thing, it could just be author name. And as long as nobody's name is meter. Yeah, that's actually kind of dangerous. So I could put it in the same serialization file. Well, yeah, if we go through our current authors, we look up, see if there was a saved value, and we restore. Maybe I don't know if we can control the order we write them. We have to go through and update the settings when we update the settings. So we could do authors first. Could have slept better. A little sniffly today. A little slow to get going this morning. Yeah, sometimes I keep thinking about how can I be helping people better. I haven't really found good ways to start conversations, and allergies. Also, we had the food usage changes, so like the stuff I was thinking about from like starter Eve situations didn't apply as well to these less pressured towns. We could kind of coast a little bit. In theory, that should have been better for teaching, but I was either still trying to put out fires or I was like, hey, anybody want to learn something? And usually I didn't get an answer, so I need better ways to start those conversations. Yeah, that's, oh, I just noticed this is going off screen. Yeah, that's a possibility. Actually, that's over here. No, that's over, yeah, I don't have this up right now. So you need to go over a little bit more. Well, my primary problem is like paying attention, and like kind of everybody's new, but yeah. Yeah, so this needs to be like a separate screen or something. I mean, one tactic might just be to actually just stop and watch, which I'm not necessarily good at. I'm always looking for something to do, and then sometimes I kind of get stuck on nothing is really jumping out as needing to get done. Yeah. I'm not really stopping to watch. I mean, like there were a few things. Like I saw somebody was watching me do pottery, so I grabbed them and walked them through some stuff. Then there were the other people who came over and taught pottery on my setup. It's like, okay, cool. Teaching gets done. Maybe I should be trying to get an apprentice before I even set out. Of course, I guess I tend to gravitate towards the run out and get something missions, and if you want to do that with a new player, you have to be like, okay, how's your food? Do you have something to eat? Which is a good lesson in of itself. Yeah, I mean, just getting things to get food does help. I mean, like, me and Quirky got a new Common well up the other day. And I mean, that was sort of actually effective twin coordination. I mean, it was all, out of game coordination, but like he mined some iron, I worked some iron, he got sulfur, I got latex and palm oil. He had a tool slot left to cook it. Yeah, I've toyed with whether to raise it as an issue that gene score is sort of a disincentive for the experienced players to play. Hmm. All right, where are we doing? If I gotta save, no. Ah, nice. See, this is a total function. So you might have to rethink that. Yeah, so that does the entire thing. I guess I could just do like get author theta, set author theta. And then we pick our order on how we do that. And it just gets its own little table. Oh. And this one didn't actually use the variable. Yeah, I mean, it's hard and I don't know if I'm good at it. But when you get a willing student, it's nice. Yeah. I mean, I think I remember back when jungles were kind of newish. We were town mostly in jungle. We kind of ended up in a dead town, so when somebody left, I taught him a little bit of farming, like what flint looks like, in the wild, because that had come up. A few other things. Ooh. How would having a function for this interact with? The fact that I have two tables for it. Because well, I guess I could do the table conversion and then call a setting function. I probably don't want to do that though. Yeah, it's more of a I don't know how to start the conversations or find the willing students. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, just being able to keep keep food flowing and such is useful. People can't learn if they're starving. Actually, if I have a function at the other layer that turns it into key value pairs, I can probably continue using these functions. Well, yeah, unfortunately, advice that helps them not starve, don't starve is easier said than done. Alright, this needs to be kind of a global thing so it survives between scenes. Now that it's being saved, I guess it almost doesn't need to be as global. Mm-hmm. And with the reduced food usage, well, and without the degeneration making it as necessary, I don't really pushing yum as much because it has become not critical to survival, and we're in situations that don't have as much variety of food to eat. Okay, yeah, this is only used in the pick overlay. Well, yeah, when it first started, we were still sort of in established towns. I was telling people about that. Um, but yeah, he made clothing almost unnecessary, and without the food generating, I mean that was done specifically to make yum necessary. So it's back to nice but not necessary. And I don't like the fact that the game has to be tweaked in that way, depending on the number of players coming in. Similar to having mechanics turn on and off depending on the number of players in the server. I'd like to think there's a better solution out there. And I was kind of wondering if you could say that with a higher gene score, as you're getting all these extra tool slots and stuff, you are also like getting a higher metabolism and burning food faster. But then people would actually have an incentive to have a low gene score, and the whole point of gene score is to incentivize certain behaviors. Yeah, experience is also kind of weird. I mean, it doesn't create that kind of perverse incentive, although it does actually make a new account better than an old account. Like, you don't really get anything for having an old account except maybe some gene score, but your new account could probably get a decent score pretty quick. And I mean, I guess it would be in Jason's financial interest to have new accounts be better than old accounts, but I don't think that's his kind of thing. I guess one other thing that's weird is that the way the gene score system works is actually putting the better people at the bottom of the score, so we can't be leader and whatnot as often, or leader or Eve or whatever. I don't think they're big financial supporters in the big picture. I mean, it's something, but I mean, relative to even the regular rate of new players, it's not that much. Okay, so certain things kind of count on this existing from the other file, but it's only really used in this scene. So we save it before we leave. That initializes if it wasn't set up from the other thing. So this would just become a flat load it. The thing I might have to watch out for, well, we're going to have all those references to theta. If I use just theta as a term, we would not want to have it just be theta. You can reference it sooner, but probably shouldn't get called sooner, yeah. I guess there's no reason to actually remove it as a global variable. I would just switch to a flat load every time. I could even start with the author theta. I guess save first. But we're going to have, okay, so there's the author theta, which is had to get because it got referenced, kind of like the level itself, defined up there. We've got author name. Let's get defined down here. And we kind of end up using these throughout. But now I need another thing that's like or at least locally I need a thing that's the persistent structure. When it gets saved. All right, I think it's time for me to take a short break. I'll be back in a little bit. Fire to do cooking on. Oh! Well, sterile wool pad. Well, hey, this is how you learn the recipes. Did I just have a baby while dying?
This will take a little bit, but it's important. The base won't function without it. I really do need to make
Welcome back. Alright, that should not have broken anything. Nothing is complaining. When we save... Hey, Akina. And hello. Ah. So you started now? I think last time you said you were about to start. It's not a new theme, it's a new game mode. Kind of. So I'm in the middle of developing it right now. Things are kind of a mess. I'm trying to get a handle on some of this stuff, so it's just kind of thrown up here right now. But I've got a linear model that tries to predict scores for unplayed songs, and then I use that to try and get a like sort of warm up, cool down, a little bit of variation between. Looks like we actually got the whites are actual scores, blue is estimated score, and the red is an arbitrary scaling of notes per second. So this one has no white, and that one has no white. So and that one has no white. So I've not played those before. So that's able to kind of place it within the scheme, and it's pretty much just this screen. It replaces the song wheel and just gives me a selection of songs, so I don't have to think about mixing it up or before I would just kind of play through an order and then you get the same order every time. You warm up and cool down and kind of hit the same spots. So yeah, this gives you a random selection that kind of has the right shape. There might be a couple of other things I'd want to look at, but I'm not as fussed about like the rest of the stuff in the theme, so I'm trying to set it up so it layers over arbitrary themes. Nice. Ooh, okay. Yeah, full match set. Oh, wow. Yeah, I kind of felt my way through it. The code is still a little bit of a mess. You know, one day perhaps I should try to get more distinct sections and organize things. The way the scenes work, I'm not sure it would really be useful to break it up into multiple files. Maybe I could bust certain graphical elements out into their own like layers or something. I mean, if I go into that, I'll probably be looking at the Outfox theme as sort of an example of, you know, modern theme development. See if I can figure out anything from there. Am I missing something? Oh, that's an if, not a function. Okay. It's colored a little different. I actually end up covering some of the same ground as this. It's more of a specific, like, we're making sure to initialize it, but that does give me a loop. So we have author IDs, we have author names. I need to go over both of them. They're both arrays in parallel order. Author names should work for that. And I need a author value map. Names are hard. Author map of name is author theta of index. Yeah, we're going through each index, which is effectively kind of going in parallel through names to get the theta value. And then I think we can use, this is load. Can use that. I'll actually, I guess save is the first thing I want to do to see if it saves properly. So I kind of do need a map of keys to values. Although maybe this could be 0, so we're going to replace it. I need to get those values from the settings. Yeah. I don't know, there's a whole lot of tutorials. Have you found... Oops, wrong window. Have you found the online reference? There's a little bit of introduction material here. And it might be enough to get you started, at least if you're got a little bit of coding. Yeah. There's been a couple versions out there. I think the one I used to use disappeared. This seems to be kind of up to date. Oh, and this, I'm on the resources tab. It looks like guides. So actually go back, drop that last part of the URL to get to the base one. But you can also just click over it from there. But that's like the home page of it. Yeah, so they've got some introduction. They've got this is maybe still the Lua API stuff. Yeah, this is the Lua API stuff. Oh yeah, I guess that's introduction. Yeah, so there's some like basic stuff there. And you get into actually the Lua API is different. Okay, so these are these are still documents. And then having sort of understood that from previous work, this actually has a little bit of description on it. Like I'm looking at maybe player sometimes. Where is like I'm looking at the step and song information a lot, and this will tell you, how you can get various pieces and. This doesn't really have any sets or action. A whole lot of sets and actions on it. This is pretty much informational. Some other things, I think you have some actions you can do on them. And then there's the introduction information on actors, but then the actual reference for what's available. Like this is the base actor. Then there's all kind of sub actors that may have a few extra things. Oh, that was the old one. Okay. But yeah, that's that, and looking at other themes is the main resources I've used. All right, so we save that. Oh no, actually it's loading these extra steps. That one record is that I might still have to trigger the save. Yeah, save. Oh, 10 consists of multiple values. So like this actually does have an argument. This would need multiple values to save it. All right, so this is, I need to do it there. Okay, those are the two places we save. These aren't going to be great values, but local profile. That did not save anything. Did set theta override it? Config. In theta, which is the argument, let's get. Also the argument for set. Get data, da 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 da. Set dirty. Key equals. Oh no, it was exiting the screen or starting around that saved it. It's basic config. No. Maybe my loop is messed up. Oh wait, this is save. I'm setting it. Yeah, this is for low. Oh man, I've got this all. I've got this all crossed up. Maybe it doesn't save zeros. Had a little pause there. No. Okay, so that was from get. Script error occurred. Oh, you know what? I lost. Oops. Rec print to table. Oh, table to stir. Okay. So we got a map. Yeah, this is all default Outfox theme. So graphics or support stuff. What is it? Overlays? BG animations. Yeah, I've only got one screen. I've got one other screen that's like a dummy play screen, so I guess they want to test stuff switching between rounds. But yeah, I just have the thing with all the points and lines on it. So this is just like, I just want the thing that's controlling what songs we play. And I haven't cared enough about the rest of it to build an entire theme around it. Plus, if anybody else wanted to use it, they'd have to agree with my theme decisions. So I was kind of hoping to make it overlay on anything. Maybe that leaves it without any real style direction. I mean, I certainly haven't spent a whole lot of time on looking nice. So save alpha theta. It's the same function we call for this. What if we didn't save that one at all? Is that like replacing it? It's not doing anything. Maybe it's in the wrong format? Oh, that was a change to boot code. The other stuff wasn't a change to boot code, though. What I'm referring to is that in a theme you have this scripts folder that is evaluated once at startup. And these numbers are kind of help it do ordering within that. And then these screens and things get loaded on demand. You know, when you go to the screen that involves that. Maybe there's a command to reload these, but I don't want to. I guess I don't want to deal with the possibility of something getting left over. All right, and we're supposed to catch back and do a save. Okay, so we went through the loop that should be going through to save that. Is it possible that we're not hitting the right profile? No, now we're back to save folder. Now it's 5 kilobytes. Okay. I didn't think I actually changed anything here, but... and it's still including the old stuff. Of course, now I don't want to print this every time. All right, so we got it to save. Save. Load. We need to set up a thing that has all the right keys. We need to fill that thing up, and then we have to break it out into the 2 bits. So... Actually, author name's only 2 IDs, so that's fine. The other thing is just doing ID maps. This is author theta of I equals author map of author. And then we do that, load that. Actually, it has to do this one every time, because it is not currently persisted anywhere else. That's get taken care of in that function. That function does not exist yet, so it should probably be before here. All of our setup for set up for the theta stuff. Okay, this is not the scene. All right, uh-oh. Okay. Well, that's kind of why I'm doing it. Run across the people with similar interests. And the values that we loaded, and I don't know why it took so long to load there. That was an unusual pause. All right, now we've actually got some more significant values on there. So if that saves... Oh, wait. Okay, I hit slow mode for one. Because that does not reset. Yeah, so somewhere, hopefully in those documents, they'll cover the debug keys. The only ones I use are F3, and then there's a few things there, but I pretty much always go over to F6, and then reload on 2, and then like toggle show errors and show recent errors on 8 and 9. Those are the things I use for what I do. Nope, we're going to reload this screen actually. And there's some pretty significant change happening there. I don't feel like those reloaded. Of course, I probably had things set up to reset everything from the start, because we weren't really counting on that happening. Yeah, and then we were reinitializing it down here. Okay. And that was our count. Oh, because this needed author names to set that up. And those things weren't defined until that point, so that's... Ooh, if those things aren't defined until that point... 600. Yeah, I actually can't do this yet. Which is a shame. The save and load could be here. Oh, wait, there's save and load. There's... That's polynomial. Yeah, we always do this. So that has to move down. Because possible steps what determines what our possible authors are that we use in that loop. And then that looks like it actually maintained some values. No, well, it maintained some values. It wasn't the most recent ones because we hadn't saved recently. All right, and that starts off in a useful place. So I still have to figure out what to do about the on-screen stats. Right now, it might be ugly enough to just turn them off, unless I can maybe compact things a little bit more. So I think at one point I had it over here, but then the one thing was off, so we have to do this as a finer tuned thing. Okay, those are overlapping and on screen, so we can go more. So that's still pretty bad, but it's not as bad. And it's also highly tuned to the exact number of authors that I have in my collection. But I don't know if that's something I can tackle right now. Because I think I'm going to just about need to have a whole separate screen for this, especially if we account for larger collections. Alright, so let's think we could work on later. I kind of decided to abandon that because I wasn't sure it really mattered. This might actually matter more to actual song selection, but right now, the parameters I'm using are wide enough that we're not getting a whole lot of actual selection going on. Oh, I guess there was a couple rounds here we had a lot of red dots for the first round. So we've got a prototype. The screen layout is terrible. In order to, and not that this stuff is exactly useful, but I find it kind of fascinating. Tells me a little bit what's going on. And it looks like my factor thing could maybe get shrunk up a little bit too. It's the basic value. We had this time 300. That's not getting quite as crazy. Yeah, we were on authors. We did all the persistent stuff. And then it's lunchtime. So, thanks for watching. Had some good chat today. Thanks for support from the subs, everybody who hosted me. Let me see if there's anything I can recommend. Now, I don't track a whole lot of the dance game people anymore. I might have some coding. That's what I'm usually on. I don't think anything super, gonna be super similar to this. Well, next over here is working on her MOBA again, and she just says she's working on in-game UI. So this is, well, some of this was UI to get the feedback. Some of it was modeling, but I mean, she's like doing the entire game from top to bottom. And she's usually got interesting opinions on development and MOBAs and stuff. So if you're looking for someplace cool to hang out, that's someplace cool to hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me. Goodbye, and until next time.